everybody, this is Island Hopper TV coming to you from Aruba.
That's right, everybody. We're going to show you around Aruba what there is to do. As always, there will be timestamps below so you can click around from destination to destination. Let's go. First up, we're in Palm Beach. This is going to be the area where you're going to have the most resorts. This is where the Hilton is. This is where some of the casinos are. Also, you get the sunset views right here from Palm Beach. If you want to find the best nightlife on the island, it's probably going to be here, even over the capital of Oranjestad. So keep that in mind when you're in Palm Beach. They're going to have water sport activities, sunset cruises. This is really where you want to be for that kind of vacation excitement. Speaking of some excitement, let's do some water sports and get the adrenaline going. You're going to have everything from scuba diving, doing some kite surfing, because it does get windy out here in Aruba, believe it or not. Also, just getting in the water, doing some snorkeling, whether it's from a catamaran or another dinghy boat, just getting out there, getting in that water. They do have dolphins. I think they said they had around 22 different species of dolphins out here, actually. You'll see a lot of these boats pulling these inner tube rafts. Also, you'll see the banana boats out there. And of course, they do have some surfing. So do be sure to spend lots of time in the water while here in Aruba. Now let's head over to the north side of the island to Alto Vista Chapel. So this is a very high vista with views overlooking the northern coastline. So the north shore of Aruba right here. And you've got these vendors out here and a nice little chapel that was built in the 1750s. This actually was built by a missionary in Venezuela. So you know, Venezuela and Aruba have a big connection. Alta Vista Chapel was the first actual chapel on the island. And the best way to get to Alto Vista Chapel is by off-roading. So you can find several different off-roading companies. They have these safari jeeps. It's really a desert island. You will see cactus more than you see anything else. Don't expect too many palm trees even, because it's a windswept island and it's also arid. Not lots of rain on Aruba, but off-roading out here on the North Shore. This company we went with was called dpalmtours.com. And actually on this off-roading tour, you keep going till you get to the natural bridge. Now this is a cool area because it's a natural caused bridge. And as you'll see towards the land, these are called the Bush Iribana ruins. So the ancient peoples of this island were living on the North Shore, not the South. And as we drive down to the natural bridge area, this is essentially the end of the road. You can keep walking all the way towards Blackstone Beach or the natural aquamarine. In fact, if you kept going a little bit further, you would go to the Aracock National Park, which is actually a really cool place to explore. There was actually two natural bridges here. The first one has actually fallen into the ocean because people were driving on it, and it actually collapsed during 2005's Hurricane Katrina storm when a 25-foot wave took it out. The arch itself was actually the remnants of an old cave, so you could see why the native people were living over here. Another thing you actually do on the tour is go to a donkey farm. Now when you're in Oranjestad, you're going to see these blue donkeys that are across the city, but there's something important that you need to know about donkeys and Aruba. The donkeys were originally brought here in the 1530s by the Spanish for transportation reasons. But nowadays, a donkey is the largest wild animal in Aruba. And this here is the donkey sanctuary. You actually get to feed these donkeys right out of your hands. It's something to do while you're on this side of the island and just check out the locals. Now we're headed out to Oranjestad. Now this is the capital of Aruba. It's a very colorful city here. You can see they have this Swiss-Dutch kind of compatibility along L.G. Smith Boulevard here. There's also 28,000 people who live in Oranjestad. There is a marina here, and the cruise port terminal is here. So if you're coming in on cruise, this is where you're going to arrive. Right out here is going to be lots of luxury shopping and boutiques. They also have some bars here. And there's a look at one of the 8 blue horses that are around Oranjestad, and the reason they have a symbolic meaning is because when they arrived, really changed life on Aruba. Now let's talk about food and drinks in Aruba. Obviously, you're gonna have lots of seafood. Also, the drinks are gonna be more of that Caribbean flavor. So you can have some tequila from Mexico, or you can have some rum from the other islands, but you're gonna get quite a bit of variety when it comes to the drinks. Lots of lobster, some shellfish, they even have some crab. Also, while I was here, I did have a mixed variety seafood and some tacos, of course, because we're in a Latin American country. But don't worry, if seafood's not your thing, they also have burgers and other chicken and beef dishes and some international cuisine. Next up, we're headed to Eagle Beach. Now, this one is considered to be the most relaxing, best beach on Aruba because of its location, less wind, but also because the sand is so amazing. It also consistently makes the list of the best beaches in the Caribbean, and some even have it as and some publications have said that Eagle Beach is the best beach in the entire world. And as we continue to show you around here, I want to remind you that we do have videos down in the description below. We have a video for Oranjestad specifically, as well as a couple travel guides for Aruba. I will put links below, so check that. Now we're on to what is considered my favorite beach. This is Baby Beach. And the reason I prefer Baby Beach over the other ones is because the water's calmer, and you can also do a lot of snorkeling here without having to go out on a boat. It's also on the eastern side of the island, so it's kind of out there. Although a lot of people visit here, you still feel like you're kind of out in the boonies. You also notice they have these different color umbrellas, and they do have a restaurant here. Basically just one though. Now we're actually headed to the northernmost part of the island. This here is the California Lighthouse. It's significant because of its location. It also serves a great purpose because the way it gets its name, the California Lighthouse, is because of the ship California traveling from Liverpool to Central America when it actually wrecked here. So it shipwrecked right on this side of the island. That's why they put in the lighthouse. You can take an all-terrain vehicle up here or one of the Jeep Safari tours, but really got a restaurant up here, nice views. It's a good place to visit in the early morning hours. Now let's talk about the nightlife. Where can you go to get some good nightlife? Well, as I said previously, I highly recommend Palm Beach because they have a lot of bars, restaurants right here. You'll also be able to find some nightlife in Oranjestad, but if we just focus primarily on the area where you're going to find the most frequency of good nightlife, and right here along J.E. Irisquin Boulevard here, you can see it does get happening, and you'll want to be out here probably from 7 p.m. until 11 p.m. It's really electric out here. And they do have the Aruba party bus. It's called the Paranada bus. Some call it the Cuckoo Canuku. And basically they just cruise around the streets, singing karaoke, shaking the maracas, and just having a good old time out here on the Aruba party bus. They have the Happy Cuckoo Hour, the pub crawl, and then they have wine on down the road. So if you're looking to make some friends while you're out here, this is definitely what you're going to want to do because it's a very social atmosphere on that bus. So I must confess, I've done some shopping here in Aruba. Good job, Aruba. You got some good salesmen. That's the one I'm getting. Gold and diamond. Along with a diamond earring, I also picked up a gold coin medallion. So lots of shopping can be done here. Also clothes. I went over to Nautica, did some shopping at the mall there. So it's just something about Aruba that makes it fun to go and do a little bit of shopping. So if that's your thing, you're gonna have that here on Aruba, especially in Oranjestad. And the main mall here is called the Renaissance Mall. They also have the Royal Plaza Mall and Renaissance Marketplace. Also, you can cruise up and down Main Street here and you'll see some shopping stores right there. And if you go up a bit, there's also more shopping nearby the casino and the restaurant called 5 O'Clock Somewhere. So plenty of souvenir shopping. And if you go out to the Flamingo Island, Renaissance Island, you'll also have some activities out there. Another thing to do out here is go on a sunset cruise. You can either make it a booze cruise, you can make it a dinner cruise, or you can make it a combination of both. But getting out there on that water, typically these are going to leave out of Oranjestad or they're going to leave out of Palm Beach. Either way, you can get a sunset tour taking you out onto the ocean and you're going to bask in that beautiful Caribbean sun. For a top tier sunset sail out at happy hour, you're looking at around $80. You can shop around online and see if you can get a better price, but that's the standard. And another thing to do while you're out here is do some island hopping to the other islands. They're called the ABC Islands over here. That's Aruba, Bonaire, and Curacao. They do have cruise ships, so I could recommend doing that as my number one option, is cruising around the ABC Islands. But they also have airplanes that can island hop over to Willemstad and some of the other places that you want to go. There's also Roxas Island in Venezuela. Yeah, so as I'm walking here in between the Divvy Beach and Eagle Beach, I'm noticing I've got like this whole beach to myself. And there was like 2 people behind me right there, but it's for the most part to myself. Oh, look at that. We've got a sand dollar. Let's pick it up. Nice. Sand dollar. When I say rest and relaxation, it is a place you can really truly relax. They have resorts here, hang out at the pool, hang out at the beach, just kind of let all that stress just wind off your body, because sometimes that's what we all need, and Aruba does have that. It has an interesting blend really, because you can get that rest and relaxation, but you can also get that adventure. So I just wanted to point that out. And really the final thoughts about Aruba, I would say for activities and things to know, if you want to get a boat out to the Renaissance Island to hang out with flamingos on Flamingo Beach, it's a cool place. They've got these bungalows that go out over the water, but most people go there to take pictures with flamingos. You can do that at other places. It's not necessarily the most important thing to do, but people like to go to this Renaissance Island. And the national park up on the top of the island in the north, called Arikok, they do have Conchi Natural Pool up there, the Dos Playa, the Fontaine Cave. So if you can get up that side of the island, I would definitely recommend at least spending half a day up there. There's also the Aruba Vacation Park in the middle of the island, and then there's the Casabari Rock Formations. So we touched on most of this stuff, but I just wanted to point it out. And on that note, that's going to conclude this episode of Island Hopper TV from Aruba. You can watch some more of our other videos. Right here we have Aruba Travel Guide, and we also have Turks and Caicos.